Once again on Reality Check, we find ourselves in the realm of public transport, our favourite theatre of pain. This is a short video, but there are a couple of very important lessons we can extract from it. Let's take a look at them in this Reality Check.
Hey, come over here.
Man,
I'm just talking. You right here. If you come right here, I'm allowed to beat you. I'm staying your ground and stuff. So if you come over here, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Hey, ain't nobody you punk ass.
Patrick!
In this instance, we don't know what started it. Thank you for pointing that out in the comment section. But we do know two guys are having an argument, having a shouting, and having a slanging match. There are several terms for this. Call it the monkey dance, call it the dick measuring contest, but we're going to call it peacocking. My feathers are bigger than yours. Look at my feathers. Look at how I display my feathers. Oh yeah? Look at my feathers. That sort of thing. It's very, very common, and it's part of that street dance ritual. One of the things that most people fight from is actually a sense of ego. It's nothing to do with actually defending themselves. It's very rarely to do with anything that's going to be a property-based incidents. These kind of things that take place on public transports are usually two people going at it because they decided they don't like each other. When we find ourselves in these situations, and I've been in them as much as anyone else is, the hardest thing to do is to walk away from them and let the guy have that final say. Unfortunately, it's also the thing we probably should be doing in those situations, because it's all too often the one thing we say or the one action we take puts it one step further than it needs to be. When you look back at some of the earlier reality checks we've done, there's always usually that one little tipping point that's the call to action or pushes someone over the edge, whether it's knocking the beer out the hand and that guy giving you a short snooze, or whether it's that pushback that then ends up with your jaw dislocated with a beautiful corkscrew hook. In this instance, the train is pulled at the station, the guys are arguing, they're shouting at each other, they're giving the warnings about what the consequences are, what they will and won't do to each other, and the guy decides to step forward into the range of the other guy. Why? For God's sake, why? The train doors are open, he's going off. Words. It doesn't matter. Who are you doing this for? Are you trying to show off in front of your girl, in your friends, all these people on the subtrain that are watching you? Regardless of what happens, the second he takes that step forward, he's now effectively saying, you want me to come forward? I'm now coming forward. He's answering the call. The problem is the guy was ready to meet his answer, and he just swung wild. One and done. I'm not even suggesting it was appropriate. I'm not saying that was required, because the other guy could quite happily have walked off the C train as well. What we have here with this peacocking is a situation that neither guy comes out well from. One guy, by trying to do the intimidation, what are you going to do factor, ends up with his clock cleaned. Could be a dislocated jaw, could be a concussion, could have been much worse, especially landing on those train platforms. I know for a fact they don't clean them very well. The other guy now could be looking at an assault charge, a manslaughter charge, a homicide charge, any number of charges, just because he didn't walk off the damn train. And he went anyway, because once he dropped the guy, he moved off. Do not ever let your ego ruin your day. Don't let it ruin your life, and do not let it dictate your actions. Everyone has an ego. Everyone has these visceral, volatile responses to being insulted, to being called names, for being the wrong football team in the wrong place at the wrong time. I get it. It's part of human nature. It's part of who we are. What the difference is between a right-thinking, fully developed, grounded human being and a tosser is I don't act on that. I recognize these are just words. This guy isn't worth it. And it's the consequences of those actions we have to gauge. Your ego is assuaged, but your life could well be ruined because you couldn't walk away. You couldn't let that word go unanswered. This is the equivalent of someone walking away from you and you then shouting out, yeah, you better walk away, and expecting that to be a good result. You do not need the final word. Let them have the final word because it's just a word. When the final word doesn't become the final word, it gets punctuated with a final punch. which is exactly what we had here. Let them go, let them walk away, and let your ego sit down and be quiet. Because the ego is what got this guy knocked out. The ego is what could get that other guy a criminal charge. And it's the ego that is going to stop you going home to your family, going out with your friends, and having your liberty and freedom. Let them have the final word. A word is just a word. And a cup of coffee and a packet of chocolate biscuits at home is always much, much nicer. Thank you guys for watching, and thank you for staying to the end of the video. So many people click off because they've seen the violence porn and they think that's all it's about. As someone that's actually committed to becoming a better person and to maybe taking action and improving themselves, I would like to offer you a very special discount. If you go on the link below to our Reality Check training series page and you enter the code RealityCheck20, you'll receive a 20% discount off the training materials that we're offering. This course is unlike anything that's on the market already. I've put over 30 years of martial arts experience, over 20 years of law enforcement experience, and the basis for the reality checks into this course. I'm confident it will make a difference in how you approach life and certainly in how you approach self-defense situations. So by clicking that link and entering the code RealityCheck20, you're going to get a discount on this course that, without word of a lie, will change your life. And if you don't believe us, just ask for the money back and we'll return it with no questions asked. Thank you for being an action taker. Thank you for staying with us, and I'll see you next time.